tus ojos mi vida pasa y se extraña si los cierro. Y si mañana nos toca no estar, miro al cielo y te veo. Pero ya sé que no voy a olvidar de febrero, cuando la noche me venga a buscar.
So, like the very serious writer I am walking to the public library to go and write because I have gotten back into working on my novel, trying to work on it every single day and just get closer and closer to the finish line. I'm also working with a couple of people to edit an anthology of stories by some Ghanaian writers, and we're finalizing edits today. So I'm going to work on that before I continue writing my novel. I used to think that I kind of suck at writing dialogue, but no, recently my dialogue has really been eating. Today's a really nice day, so I will do my work for a little bit and then I'll go and meet one of my friends at home, and then I'm going to go to the Center for Fiction for a live podcast interview recording with a few writers, and then after that I'm going to go to a music show at Silo. There's an open deck situation. I think it's a house music thing. So that's it for today.
Cuando la noche me venga a buscar, que me lleve con tu viento. Y si la noche me viene a buscar, que me lleve con tu viento. Vengo a tu lado y mi vida pasa, ya lo creo, ya lo creo. Y si mañana nos toca no estar, miro al cielo y te veo. Pero ya sé que no voy a olvidar tu perfume de febrero, cuando la noche me venga a buscar.
Disha Filion, Donnie Walton, and Kiese Lehman.
I mean, I feel like I had two debuts. I had like the underground debut where when my book came out, I put all my shit in the back of my car and I drove to try to sell it. But it was a debut worthy of a book that received a $2,000 advance. When I finally got a real debut from, a different debut from Scribner and them, they put me in the nicest hotels I've ever been in. And then they were like, you have unlimited room service. in black cities. So I'm inviting motherfuckers I know to the hotel just to eat. They were taking me in black cars and shit, and my friends would come to read us, and I'm like, you want to go home, though? Come on.
My debut was with West Virginia University Press, and it was the only offer that I got on my book. The other thing that they did that, I wish for every Black debut author is they put money and resources in marketing. Amen. You can write a genius level book, and if they're not supporting it, the publisher doesn't support it, it's almost like you didn't, So I feel like I kind of debuted twice in a way, because then in 2021 I could actually go to events and things that people invited me to, but no unlimited room service. My publisher has not paid for me to do anything. They've paid for marketing, publicity, but not travel or anything like that.
I had a really clutch PR marketing team, and we had the whole package. It had the book, it had a record in it. My book came out March 30th, 2021. I had thought by that point we would be out of the house, and we were not. I think it was Omicron. The vaccine had just come out. On pub day, I got my first dose of the vaccine. And I got flowers from people, but I was in my pajamas in the house. house except when I went out to get my vaccine. And so when the paperback came out the following year, that is also when I got to go to, you know, I think I went to a festival in Dallas. We met up in Miami.
Yeah, the Miami
book festival there.
This is definitely the book that I had to write because I often write from a place of questioning. And I feel that I have this obsession in particular with nothing being a monolith or nothing being defined by one single trait. And so when you take something as big as the American South, I felt like anything I wrote, I had to be in an argument with myself. And so with the form of a short story collection, I'm like, okay, one story can address this aspect. Like maybe one story will revolve around a particular historical event. But then if I don't want my writing as a whole to be defined by, you know, one occurrence, such as like, let's say the riots in Charlottesville.
I mean, I would definitely agree that it took my whole life to write this book because I've not written a book before, but I think the coming of age element of the book is very strong. I would say this book goes from the age of maybe 8 to how old I am now, which is 34, or 32 whenever I finished it. But I think the through line for this book is just how art has transformative energy.
The summer Mama and I share pregnancies, the cottonmouths come crawling out of the marshes. It's a wonder to watch, the way those snakes float their own weight, curving over the brown water and nosing into the mud. They slip all the way through the sawgrass, work themselves into lazy balls on our land. I ain't going no place, you imagine them saying, now that I'm all comfortable here. And you kind of get what they mean. Sometimes I watch them from the back porch, especially when it's too hot to move, much less go carrying a baby inside you, thrashing in your belly like it's trying to shrug off your body heat.
One day in the office, Anthony walked over to my desk with a card that needed to be signed. It was a congratulatory gesture from Miss Barbara, whom I'd only spoken to in passing when passing by her cubicle. The plan was to surprise her with a cake and gifts. The occasion? She'd been working here for 60 fucking years, dog. Anthony told me, shaking his head. She retired 7 years ago, got bored, and came back to start working again. I signed my name, and after lunch that day, we gathered around to celebrate Miss Barbara's 6th decade of service. While everyone stood around her and honored the milestone, she sat and looked around. She couldn't stand on her own anymore. It didn't feel like depending on her walker. In her 80s, she'd given all her life to this job, working here since she was the same age as me. She probably watched her colleagues grow from young adults to great-grandparents. Probably listened to the radio newscasts of Martin Luther King being shot in Memphis. Probably had co-workers leave this earthly plane, all while being at the same place. It launched me into an existential crisis, staring off into space, thinking about how I'd rather die at this very instant than to give these niggas all the good years of my life.
I was like, hi Disha, my name is Audrey. I just finished my MFA and I got into Tin House, but then I can't come because I didn't get any funding, and I'm hoping I'll see you next year.